This is Robert Martellacci, the Mindshare Learning Report, Canada's Learning and Technology e-magazine, and welcome to this week in Canadian EdTech special edition, 16 days to go before the Canadian EdTech Leadership Summit, November 2nd and 3rd in Ottawa, Canada. And I'm honored to have join me for a Mindshare Learning Moment, Dr. Michael Fullan, who is recipient of the Order of Canada, Professor Emeritus at OISE University of Toronto, co-director of New Pedagogies for Deep Learning, and a keynoter at the Canadian EdTech Summit. He has a new book out, The Drivers, Transforming Learning for Students, Schools, and Systems. Dr. Fullan, always a pleasure to connect with you.
Me too, and it's timely right now. I mean, people often say this, but this is really getting timely because the world is crumbling. I call them the twin towers of climate and how you treat each other. But we are, and it's Ottawa especially. We're working closely with the Ottawa board on deep learning issues that are very much to do with citizenship and deep learning development, and with Anaheim, which is another district. So we've got good examples, and they're strong on the ground. And I'm going to talk about them when I'm with you in Ottawa.
Fantastic. Activating community-minded change leaders, transforming society through deep learning is your theme of the talk. I'm so impressed, and I've followed you over the years as I've been in that tech for some 25 years. The growth mindset and the change leadership and the kind of sense of being an activist in order to make change happen, it doesn't happen overnight, does it?
Well, it doesn't, but once it gets going, it's one of those go slow to go fast. Once you get the group working on it, and especially kids, it just accelerates. So with Ottawa, what's most amazing is that they have 4 and 5 year olds, kindergartens, who are doing the 6 Cs, the global competencies. I just saw a video the other day of that. And most people say, oh, that's for teenagers, global competencies.
Right.
No, these are 4 year olds. In fact, I would probably go lower than that if I could find a 2 year old. I'm sure I'd find the compassion and all those things.
Right.
But definitely from the ground up, all the way through I say developing students in society and for society, so they can cope in society as in a complex world, but also so that they are contributing to the betterment of society, which is a new element that's very strong.
Fascinating. So we were speaking off air about the number of books you've written. So I'm going to surprise you and pull up your website because congratulations. I understand the number is 50 that you've achieved, and you have a most recent book, The Drivers. Talk to us a little bit about the inspiration over the years. And I'm writing my book, so I can definitely use you as a mentor to get through my first one.
Sure. I mean, the simplest way to do is divide it into two 20s, 20 years plus 20 years. First 20 years, I was an academic. So I did, academic books, so that's good. But then I joined in with Dalton McGuinty, and we did the Ontario reform. And that was the first time
Hmm.
I was really having to deliver on the ground. And I learned the most during those years. And then after McGuinty's term, I started to do this with other districts like Ottawa, Anaheim, other stuff that. And then we've been co-developing on the ground with younger and younger people, with institutions, with districts, and that's where you learn when you try to help people do something that has measurable things to do, and the energy is coming from the field, but I'm latching onto it. They're latching onto me, and we're co-producing these things together on an equal input basis. It's great.
So leadership is your wheelhouse. I recall interviewing you on Stratosphere back in the day at Pearson. Uh, you began embracing EdTech, and talk to me a little bit about the many moving parts we have today and leveraging the right tool at the right time. ISTE came out with a report, and I'm going to share it with our community that's attending, the delegates attending, along with one of your articles as a primer. only 9% of professors and faculties of education in the US were reported to be using some form of tech infused pedagogy or modeling for future teachers. I was a little startled by that one.
Yeah, I don't interact much with pre-service anymore. Obviously, I did when I was dean, but we're in there now when people are on the roll already in the system. But in Stratosphere, I think I wrote that book in 2012 or something. And
Thereabouts.
I had
Yeah.
three things: technology, pedagogy, and change. I said the three things have to be connected. And we also said at the time the phrase that pedagogy is the driver, technology is could be the accelerator if it's the right combination. So I still in the new book, I'm really finding that is the case for deep learning, that the driver is pedagogy. Only this time it's
Hmm.
students as civic leaders as well as adults, and they need to use technology, but not not just use it for the sake of it. They need to use it as an accelerator and a deepener, and that's the latest work around artificial intelligence.
Well, and it needs to be purposeful, and that's a great point. The notion of AI is very much a part of this conversation at the summit. Have you played around with it? The closing keynote is Dr. Alec Couros from the University of Regina, who's a big proponent these days. And I know Chris Kennedy, the superintendent out in West Vancouver, talks about the importance of not banning it, but understanding it and leveraging it to augment learning.
Yeah, I've like other people, and I remember when Andy was very Hargraves criticizing
Yes.
technology as a problem. He's now, I think, somewhat of a convert. But my view, and I'll have a slide for you actually that
Hmm.
shows our work in Anaheim. Artificial intelligence comes along, and instead of running and hiding or kind of figure out, let's how to keep it at arm's length, they said, how can we proactively use this to deepen the learning we're already doing? And I'll have a slide that shows you the guidelines for doing it. I'll just name one of them.
Yeah.
When you have something like AI that's powerful, you have to figure out how to move towards the danger. This is a change, sticky change phrase we've had for a long time. I think Andy and I use it together. But if you want to have, if something's powerful, and you don't, it doesn't come usually if it's powerful with a handbook how to use it effectively from day
Right.
one. You have to be proactive about it and move towards the danger and make it. I call it generative collaboration. You want to call it generative
Yeah.
why not
Right.
call it generative collaboration and
I love
generate
that.
that? So that's what we'll do.
Fantastic. Well, we don't want to give away the entire keynote. So, with that, I'm going to, you know, pivot to, what's next for you. And do you have another book that you're working on?
And well, not so. I mean, what's next for me is the action we're doing now in several school districts, different countries, Australia, certainly California, hopefully British Columbia is another great later, Newfoundland, Labrador. So there's quite a lot to be done in located places, and it's now becoming having a system feature to it. That is, it's not just this or that school; it's either
Right.
whole district and that. So that's what's next. I mean, I'm doing a couple of second editions of books that we have to update. But what's next now is making this work on a bigger scale and then capturing what that looks like and feeding it back to the world.
Wonderful. Well, we're super excited to have you keynoting and helping MC the event with us at the Ottawa Summit, November 2nd and 3rd. And really, it's about getting, we talk about pockets of innovation, and it's empowering leaders and enhancing learning environments to engage kids. It's not an easy process, but there are some common themes, aren't there, around this
Yeah.
that
Well,
you see in the world.
the newest one is not only empowering kids, but seeing kids lead adults. It's partnership, but
Right,
we haven't found I'll say a student or young enough who's not a change agent, who doesn't want to make a difference when they get going. So this is the new power, is not empowering them, but allowing them to co-develop with us.
Fantastic.
It's going to be
Well,
big.
with that, Dr. Fullan, I want to be respectful of your time. We'll look forward to seeing you in Ottawa in a couple of weeks at the iconic Fairmont Chateau Laurier. We'll be visiting the newly renovated Ottawa U Faculty of Education and spending some time at Algonquin College at their Culinary Institute, which is state of the art, and St. Paul's High School, another awesome facility that we're partnered with Ottawa Catholic School Board and Tom D'Amico and Jeff Edwards, and really looking forward to
Yeah, I've been to St. Paul's. It's a great school. So yeah,
yeah,
for sure. Yep.
fantastic. With that, thank you again, Dr. Fullan.
See you very soon.
That was Dr. Michael Fullan, OC and Dean Emeritus at University of Toronto, OISE. My name is Robert Martellacci, the Mindshare Learning Port, and I'm honored to be the co-chair of the 14th Canadian EdTech Leadership Summit. I hope you'll join us in Ottawa on November 2nd and 3rd. You can learn more at www.mindsharelearning.com or to register. And until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, and keep the learning curve steep.